We need a do-over.
Right. And better, way better. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. Indeed, it's the main purpose, of course, we wanted to be able to share your message in the best way possible. So now that we have gone to those fixes, we can take over. So, there is one person extra that we have. I'm going to allow them to come in. Ah, yeah, okay. Perfect. Hi everyone, welcome back. Sorry we had an issue with the videos, but we're back here right now as well. We are continuing the conversation that we just started, and we just had a perspective with Susan. Because of the time, Susan, I will mention it that we will make sure that actually we have this content available online. Yet, just to make sure that actually we are on time, let's follow on this next part of this first segment that we had prepared, and where we're going to talk first with Rubianca. Rubianca, could you give us your perspective on how fasting and nutrition influences the physical performance and recovery? How was your first experience with fasting?
So, fasting, of course, it's one thing, nutrition is the other, right? I want to make sure that fasting is a tool to achieve certain goals, and there might be various goals, from weight loss to more energy to better recovery as well. But on the other side, we're talking about fasting, which is the window where we're not eating, but we also have to make sure that we are eating well during the window, the eating window, of course. So that is very important to differentiate, or to make sure that people understand that if you're fasting, hoping for the results that fasting brings, and you're eating junk food all day long, we're not gonna get the results that we're hoping for. So that's the first point I want to mention. But looking at myself, I'm more focused on intermittent fasting. So that's what Susan already mentioned. So it's more of a day-to-day fasting. So there are windows of eating windows and also fasting windows. And you can play, of course, around with these windows, right? But mainly what fasting for performance can do is that if you're working out, or if you're trying to build muscles, things like that, fasting can obviously definitely help you with that. Because what happens in fasting is, first of all, is a recycling of cells. So old cells, or cells that are not efficient enough, will be recycled to with newer cells. So that's one. That's where the energy comes in, right? So if you have more efficient cells, you're also gonna feel more energetic. You feel more energy. Second, big thing is the production of the human growth hormone during the fasting period. I'm not going to go into the details on how and so forth, but fact is that the human growth hormone will be increased. So if you're working out, you're going to feel that your performance is going to be higher, and thus also you're going to have more energy. So it all ties up to having more energy and feeling better, actually. and being more efficient, right? And then there's, of course, the metabolic switch. Susan already touched on that, but basically the primary source of energy is glucose. So if you're eating carbs and things like that, of course, we are storing this glucose in our bodies. But if there's a small storage in our body of glucose, once that is depleted, we're going to start using fat as our primary source of energy. And fats you can see as more of a diesel, so you can go longer on fats, and we of course have much bigger fat storage in our bodies than glucose. So glucose is really the fast energy. So if you need to sprint, from now in 2 seconds, you're going to use glucose. But if you don't have glucose anymore, while fasting, so you're depleting all your glucose, you're going to start using your fats, which is more potential energy. So basically how I see fasting, how I use fasting is really to have more energy for my daily life, but also because I work out and I want also my clients to have a better performance there. To use fasting for more energy, for more performance. And my first experience, I think I started fasting really hardcore, so really going 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of window of eating, I think 3 years ago. And I was just curious because I was working out, doing CrossFit, and people were talking about it, and I should try it. So I just started, and I quickly saw that my workouts were much. I could put more intensity in my workouts, and I was getting a lot stronger. So with weightlifting and things like that. So that's the human growth hormone, building up more muscles, and being my condition also improved a lot. So that was my experience, and with time, so I did that for really a year, I think, with almost no exception, and then I let it go a little bit, and as you get older, you also start getting more in tune with your body. That's what I experienced. And with that, I also started being more flexible with my fasting. So I fast, once in a while, but I'm not obsessed with okay, I need to fast for 16 hours. I need to fast, for 12 hours or whatever. I really let my body decide, or let my state of mind as well decide how I'm going to tackle that. So I'm much more flexible in that way now.
Wonderful, wonderful. And just to I'm going to reset now the room a little bit, just to give an insight to everyone that actually just coming in still to the room. We have now Sammy and Midian also joining us. So here we are in Inspiral Mindset, the webinar. And this is a webinar where we are discussing the topic of fasting and the perspectives that we have from two specialists. We have today Susan Pulley, from the founder of Atma Ayurveda, and we have also Rubianca the founder of MyFitnessMe. In these first minutes actually of our talk, we were talking about the first experiences that we had with Ayurveda. So let's go to the second segment of today, the second part of today. And in this moment, what I'm going to do is something that we're going to ask the same question for the two invited guests, invited speakers. And what we're going to do is actually a little bit of more practical applications. So let's start with Susan. Susan, in this first segment, we were talking about the first experience. You were telling us as well about the two different fasting approaches, that not approaches, the food feast and fastings in Ayurveda. But may I ask you as well something like two practical tips for someone that is looking to integrate today fasting into their lives?
Yeah. If you are looking to integrate a day-to-day type of fasting, it can be quite important to, and you want to be able to do it long term, for example, like Rubianca has achieved, right? Where you want to concentrate on is where you're at now. If you're having food like in between, tussen H's in the Netherlands, if anybody's Dutch in the group. But if you're having in betweens, then you want to drop them down to liquid and use that as a first step. So if you're having solid in betweens like nuts or fruit, from nuts you would go down to fruit, from fruit you would go down to something liquid. Broth, miso soup, chai tea, something liquid. So that's the first tip when you're going in that direction of trying to achieve a shorter number of hours in which you are eating in the day. And also from the Ayurvedic side of things, making sure that you're resting your digestion in between meals. But what can happen, the reason why I say that that's important to take a one step in that direction, and then the next step, and then the final step of nothing in between meals. The reason why that's important is because, as Rubianca described, the body is having blood, the sugar levels in the blood. I'll try not to use the medical terms. The sugar levels in the blood. Your energy levels that you feel from day to day that help you concentrate, your body's going to go into the blood and get some energy from there. And the easiest way to do that is, okay, available sugar, it's cruising around the bloodstream. The body doesn't naturally go and dive down and get those fats and release them. So it can be kind of, people can experience like woozy feeling or low energy or feeling blah if their body's accustomed to getting constant in between shots of blood sugar, meal, snack, meal, snack, snack, meal, maybe another snack, like if that is a little bit the pattern, if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes that becomes the pattern. And that can create a constant level of sugar input into the bloodstream. And the body will only know how to go and get the sugar there and get the energy there. What we need to do is train the body. That's why, one step at a time, train the body to take that first step. Okay, now it's only liquids. And then finally, nothing in between, so that slowly the body's metabolism is like, oh, okay, this is how I do it. I go and I when everything's empty and there's not a lot of blood sugar, then I'll go and I'll dive down because I know how to do it and I've been trained to do it, and I'll go dive down and grab that extra energy from the deeper sources. So I think that's quite an impactful one to really take those steps in between. Another quick tip, if I can give one, is hot water to bring up the hunger. Little sips of hot water, basically 1 hour, every hour. Drink hot water when you first wake up. Then again, half a cup before a meal, then sips of hot water throughout the day. And that will create the environment where your digestive organs will say, okay, now I'm ready for food, and it'll start to reset this dial.
Wonderful, indeed. Training our body with a suitable process. Everyone actually has a different body. Yet, something that gladly I would love to come back later in the next round. Yet, for the same question, Rubianca, from your specialty, multidimensional training, multidimensional movement training. Two practical tips that you would say on how to implement fasting from day one in your life?
Yeah. So I agree with Susan. It's like start slow, right? If I'm talking about intermittent fasting, I think it's more like a 12-hour fast, a 12-hour eating window. Maybe start there because it's just, well, sleeping. If you're sleeping well, you sleep for 8 hours, then you can extend both sides, right? The evening and the mornings, and start there and see how you feel. But I think the other important thing is really to set a goal. Why are you fasting? This is the first thing you should ask yourself. Are you fasting because everybody's doing like I did basically, or do you have specific goals that you want to achieve? A lot of people, obviously for the right reasons, use fasting to lose weight. It is maybe a side effect of fasting, but it's in my opinion, it's not the biggest goal you should look after, right? It is a side effect. So set a goal for yourself, because then it is easier as well, I think, to commit to fasting, because it's not for everyone. And committing means also having your environment supporting you. I see a lot of people who just start fasting, but nobody knows in their family, or they're not really, they don't understand. So it makes it more difficult. There's another obstacle for yourself to keep going, because you're surrounded by people who's like, come on, start to eat with us, right? So it is very easy to just say, okay, what's one meal or what's one snack gonna do with me? But I think these are the two things, like set a goal, ask yourself why, and also inform your environment about it.
Wonderful. You see, in reality, in the sense of setting up goals, we are reaching our final part of the second segment, and we're doing it on time. So that gives us an extra moment to define on our personal experiences. In this first part, in the first segment, we were sharing about the personal experiences that we had, and how now to implement them in a practical way, especially if it's your first fasting. Some of the things actually that we were speaking is that certainly most of us, sometimes we get into fasting without the proper knowledge. So we're doing this video together with these two specialists to give you some insights, to give you some guidelines that you could take before you go to fasting for the first time. And if you have done it already, certainly these are the two specialists that you should get in touch to know more about how to get the best out of this fasting. So let me reset a little bit again the room of what we're doing here today. Is actually the Inspiral Webinar of fasting. We're talking with the two specialists that we have as guests today, Susan, the founder of Atma Ayurveda, and Rubianca, the founder of MyFitnessMe. With the three of us, we are also going to do an event in Amsterdam on the 11th of July, which is going to be live on the room where I am today. It's actually a very beautiful room. I'm just in a little bit of corner, but it's a room that actually fits almost like 60, there's maybe 70 people here, where we're going to do a live event for you guys, which is going to be an event of 2 hours. Today we are doing a short version where we are doing some very important tips, quick tips for what is coming in this coming month. And with that, I would also like to start opening a little bit of the Q&A, the area where we can actually answer some questions that has been delivered to us during today, and maybe from some of the people that actually joined in the last section of this webinar. So let me double check actually. I would like to start with one question that I got recently, and it might be a little bit of a tough one, so I would just go and let it open who would like to jump on it. But it was question delivered by Tio, and Tio asked me like, Juan Carlos, how can I do fasting, or should I be doing fasting when I'm pregnant? Sorry, I knew it was
Jumping
going
on
to be
that.
tricky.
Was that the question? I think we both have we can concur on that. That is basically not an appropriate thing. In Ayurveda, there's two types of therapies generally. There's there's langana, lightening therapy, de-nourishing therapy. You're taking something out of the body. And then on the other hand, there's nourishing therapy. All the oils, you guys may have heard of like herbal oils, lots of oils, like pumping the body full of stronger nutrition, more like if somebody needs to recover from burnout or if they're pregnant, the nourishing is the focus. You're building something. You're building another human in pregnancy. And so you certainly want to be in that category of nourishing and building. And fasting is very, very clearly in the, at least from the Ayurvedic perspective, if the goal is to do lightening therapy or de-nourishing therapy, that is contradictory to the entire experience of pregnancy.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Especially, I would say that my wife, she got also like when she delivered her baby, it was quite a physical demanding situation for her. I think actually it took her almost like 36 hours. So after that, literally there was a, well, I hope she allows me to share it, but and basically it took her quite a couple of weeks, if not months, to recover. So I would dare to say that I'm not sure if actually, I guess that you really need all the energy that you can have for those specific moments. Rubianca, if I may ask you, because I was checking about the questions, in the very physical world that you experiences, this question will be in terms of like how did was there a different fasting before on your regimen before or after your injury?
No, but as I mentioned, I've been much more flexible in my fasting routine. It's still a routine, but it's not as written down as before, I think. And what I really try to do today is okay, what do my body needs? Sometimes it needs a rest of, like Susan said, really your body needs to rest so there's no digestion or anything. And then I feel, okay, it's time for a fast, and I can go for a longer fast or a shorter fast. And also depending on my workout routine, that will also change. Like more intensity means maybe I need more nourishing. Less intensity, okay, I can go a bit longer with my fast. But now, but fasting, it is part of my life now, so it's something that belongs to me, but I can really change up things, knowing what my body needs at that moment.
Yes,
that's something that I very commonly, sorry, there's something what she just said, there's a real, let's highlight it, because basically with experience it becomes a tool in your toolbox.
Yes,
in the beginning we all make mistakes, but with experience, and that's what I've heard again and again from people who have a lot of experience doing cleansing, doing fasting. They know when to do it and when not to. And I think in the beginning it can be kind of confusing. You need a little bit of guidance. on, well, what's appropriate? Do I need more nourishing right now? Can I go hard, or do I need to be a little bit more gentle? Because our minds are very strong. And the technique, what Rubianca's just said, is it's developed a capacity to listen to your body. And there's a beautiful key in that, right? We've many clients, they come because they want to get a better sense of how to listen to their body, how to hear those. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And what I learned through fasting is also really to tune into my hunger cues, because we are surrounded by food 24/7. If you wanted to eat at midnight, we could go out to McDonald's and eat. We could go to the Albert Heijn Express or whatever. They're still open. So you never really, your body never feels hungry. You can say you're hungry, but you don't know basically what hunger is until you start fasting, because then you was like, oh, okay, this feels different than when I'm not fasting, when I'm eating like 24/7. And I think that is also a big thing about fasting, that or you can distinguish what is real hunger and what is just trek hebben, just having being peckish. And then you can really control, I think, more of the snack moments, because it's actually this is not really hunger. It's more because I feel like eating.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to take some a special moment because we indeed are quite on time. So before we go to the last segment of today, where we're going to talk about what's going to be happening this month, I would like to take actually a moment as well to reset the room, to mention to everyone about Inspiral the webinar. Today we have two honor guests. We have two founders. We have Susan Pulley from Atma Ayurveda, and we have Rubianca and Simmerskrat. It's very interesting your language. If I may ask, where is it from?
Well, Han is my maiden name. That's my Chinese Indonesian name, and my husband is Danish, so that's the Danish Simmerskrat. That's the Danish name.
Nice combination. So, if I may add, what I would like to do this moment, I would like to ask you, ladies, if you could tell us a little bit, introduce yourself, introduce your companies, and in a way, where would you like to help people the most in this year, and how they could get in touch with you? Could you help us with that, please? Maybe
Should I go first?
Would you like to start?
Oh, Susan.
I wasn't.
I go.
Sure. Okay. So you guys have heard I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I have a clinic here in Amsterdam. So the easiest way to get in touch is atma-ayurveda.com and fill out the contact form. I guess the heart of it is really that I lead health breakthrough programs that help people get their lives back. And the goal is to feel more energized and vibrant and effective, like you're actually living the life that you want to live. That's my take on what Ayurveda should be offering people. Like, most people know what they should do. You know that you need to eat better and de-stress and exercise and feel happy and be positive. But all of that gets pushed off a little bit by a little bit every day, and suddenly you're in bad habits. So I help people actually do the Ayurveda non-negotiable habits that lead to good health, that are known throughout the last thousands of years, because Ayurveda is a traditional medicine that lead to health and vitality. So reach out by the website. You've got the QR code there. We actually start on Saturday. So 2 days from now, we do a kickoff call for the next coming cleanse. So that's something interesting. And that's how you can reach me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Susan. It is indeed very special with Inspiral Mindset Webinar, what we are doing today. And if I may ask the same, please, Rubianca, could you tell us a little bit?
So I'm a multidimensional movement specialist and also a nutrition coach, which means I'm combining, of course, two of the main factors of health. And I'm training people one-on-one in my gym, my private gym. And what I want to achieve with my clients is really for them to feel more in tune with their body, to move better, more efficiently, and just having more energy also for their day-to-day lives. A lot of times we don't know where we're standing in space. So the first thing is really awareness of body, and then movement comes in, of course. And with nutrition, that's on top of that to optimize your health.
Super. We're going to make sure as well that with these videos, with this online, you're going to see as well that in the descriptions, you can see actually the names of Rubianca and Susan. You can find in Google as well, in LinkedIn, we're making sure that actually all the links are shared with you on how you can get in touch with our honored guest. Now, let me take one technical change to share with you the next part of it, of what we're going to do today, is because we had some issues in the first part of today, and in order not to repeat that exactly of how it happened, what we're going to do is that we're going to jump into our part of today. So what I want to mention to you guys is that the main objective of today was indeed to give you some insights of what's going on with fasting. I will let you know actually, in reality I'm actually also doing a fasting today myself. We all of us implement fasting. For me it has been an honor to have this event because I'm being one of those persons that I've been just taking information from what I can find in YouTube or what I can find in ChatGPT. But most of the times it was not really someone really an specialist or some were just people sharing on YouTube about how they were doing it. It will be like getting information from someone like myself, which is not someone that has studied or dedicated their life completely into health. Now we have two specialists, and this is what we wanted to do today with Inspiral Mindset, and this is what we are doing with Inspiral Mindset Live as well, bringing a specialist that they have done the studies, that they have done the work to be able to deliver you really the information that you need to do these kinds of implementation into your life. It's not that I'm saying that no, you shouldn't do it. It's saying that if you're going to do it with some wise information, some real information behind it. And don't be afraid to reach out. Here you have actually the reach of these two wonderful ladies to be able to be in contact with you. As said, we also have some information that we want to share with you. What we're going to do is that with this video, in order to make it as active as possible, we're going to share with you some QR codes. And after this video, you're going to get a few QR codes. The first QR code that you're going to get is going to be the one single thing that I would like to ask you today on our behalf. And that is that to ask you if after this video, once you see the QR code, if you can give us a testimonial on the information that you got. Testimonial on information of what you would like to know more about fasting and what's that we can answer to you. And what we're going to do is that we're going to send you, of course, the information of the event that is happening on the 11th of July in Amsterdam. We're here in this building, actually is this wonderful building that is in single 126 from the startup community, from the startup building. I will show you a little bit of how it looks. but this is actually one of these monumental buildings that we have here. And what I want to do now, actually, because indeed we're doing a little bit of different stuff, we're bringing you actually some extra QR codes for you. These QR codes that you're going to get are QR codes that are going to give you some free gifts. The first QR code, as I mentioned you, is the one that actually we would like request. It's the QR code that has to do with the testimonial. But the second QR code that we're going to share with you today has to do with our Inspiral Tribe. The Inspiral Tribe is now with over 90 people from around the world, specialists, trainers, coaches, people that actually are focused in high performance and well-being. And if you want to join us, just follow the second QR code that I'm going to share with this video. That way you can actually get into touch with us directly. That will allow you as well to be part of our mastermind. By the way, we are doing a mastermind where you can bring your questions about your business, about your personal growth, about your health, and you will be able to get in touch with our specialists as well. Finally, one of the QR codes that we wanted to share today, but what you can do is actually that you can use this new intention that I'm doing now, and it's that if you take a picture of today of this event, and as you can help me with this, Susan, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the view. That way you can see the three of us. You can see actually the QR code that actually Susan is sharing in her screen. What I want you to do, guys, actually is that you can have three steps. Take a picture of this screen. Take a picture of your phone, take a picture of your computer, you can make a screenshot, you can do it with your phone. And what I would like to ask you is that just take a picture of it and you can tag Inspiral Mindset. Or I'm going to put as well the tags of our three companies. And what I want you to ask is actually if you share it on the stories, if you share it with your friends, if you share it with your neighbors, anyone that you know that actually will help them this information. What we're going to do is actually I'm going to take a winner from everyone actually that shares it. And if you share it enough, we are going to give free tickets for the Inspiral Mindset in Amsterdam next month. I'm going to give 2 free tickets, and each of those tickets from Inspiral Mindset, they go from 20 to 100 euros. So depending actually of if you share it enough, if you share 2 or 3 times, I'm going to be able to find it out, and I'm going to give you free tickets. And also with that, if you see the QR code that Susan has in her screen, you can actually scan that QR code, and you also can join us on the cleansing sprint of Atma Ayurveda that is starting June 8th. You can get also a free code on there. And Susan, if I may ask you, could you tell us a little bit of what that cleansing, 5-day cleansing, it's all about?
Yeah, so this is something that people can do at any time. You don't have to, it's not a huge lifestyle interruption. In fact, it might simplify the week, actually. So basically, we start day 1, you get a recipe and some video explanation of why we're doing this. And like that, every day you're just adding on one detoxification habit. That's super low key, but actually by the end of the week, you realize, well, it's 5 days. So by the end of the 5 days, you're like, wow, I've seen an impact. I've been able to come out of my sugar cravings, stop drinking coffee, clarify that true hunger that we were talking about during this webinar. And so that's the goal, like being able to feel again, feeling a little bit lighter, not feeling so stuck or gloomy. So that's what you're getting this week. We have a kickoff call on Saturday. So actually this time it's live, and then you'll follow it day by day. You'll get an email delivered to your inbox so that you're able to follow it, and you'll be able to ask questions and make sure that you're prepared for everything. So the goal is that maybe consider, like, if you come on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., then you'll be able to organize the food on Saturday, Sunday. Maybe you want to go Monday through Friday or Sunday through Thursday. Totally up to you. But it's a quick little sprint. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a huge impact of your day-to-day life. And so, but it's a start, and that's what we all need. Getting familiar with that true hunger and that feeling of lightness again, remembering that we can achieve that for ourselves.
Wonderful. Indeed, for everyone that has joined us, remember when it comes about fasting, and I would say that these small steps that you take bring you closer to that potential that you are searching, that ideal life that you would like to have, from longevity, from the way how you relate with your your own body and with the people around you. I'm made there to share as well that I couldn't find a way on how to lose weight, no matter how much exercise I did, no matter how many trainings I was testing. In a way, I would dare to say, no matter actually of what kind of relationship I had with my food, till I did my first fasting of 4 days. Well, it took me when I was 39 is when this happened, and it took me almost 39 days, 20 years, I would say, between my 20s to my 40s, to really understand that I needed to reset my body, to bring it to where I used to be, in order to indeed create some new healthy habits around me. Now, I wish everyone to stay healthy. I wish everyone to stay motivated to become their best potential, to strive for excellence, and if you have any questions, please just give us a call, give us a DM, and we will gladly answer your questions. Now, dear guests, I would like to ask you, because actually we already reached our time, and for the ones that actually are still listening to us, may I ask you, what is your takeaway of today, Rubianca? If you would say like one of the things that actually we shared today, what would you say as is your takeaway?
The biggest takeaway for me is that you need to look at each individual and start from where you are, because everybody is at a different level. So you cannot just have one set of rules for different people. And that's also important to be aware of that when you start something new regarding health. You read a lot about stuff, but you first need to really analyze where you're at, how your life is looking today, and where you want to be. As we already mentioned, the goal setting is very important, but you also need to know where are you starting from, because the tools or the journey will be different for everybody.
Correct. Thank you indeed. Susan?
And for me, I think it's that strong reminder of the importance of learning how to listen to your natural urges. Hunger is one of the 14 natural urges, according to the Ayurveda texts. And it's the one that in modern living, we've kind of lost a very big relationship to. And I think that that's the thing that I'm like, just, we constantly reabsorb these things, but it's always really great to have a reminder.
Wonderful.
So anybody...
Wonderful. My takeaway is indeed listening. You know, we're always talking about like the importance of listening with empathy to others in order to have a better communication. We need to apply listening with empathy to our own body, to ourselves, to our we need to love ourselves every single day. I remember I just met this speaker that she was telling the one single thing that she does every single day is that she repeats herself from a very humble way, not in a way that I love myself. She keeps repeating herself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And that's how she gets herself out of those dark moments, let's say. And that comes actually to every single molecule, every single atom. Let's love every single atom of our body. Ladies, thank you very much. Thank you for this experience. I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Everyone in the live or that are going to watch this video as well, thank you very much for your time, for your attention, and I wish you to see you very soon. Hi, Midian. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.